about what you want and why you want it, you almost always get into the receiving mode. You see, if it is true, and it is, that the energy flowing is the precursor to the manifestations occurring to you, then can you see how when you talk about what and why, rather than what you want and why you don't want that, and what you want and why you don't want that, and what you want and why you don't want that, as you just get that energy flowing. So if that's all you did in a deliberate, focused time, you've flowed enough energy that now law of attraction is going to bring you other things. And as you continue to understand, and we're going to say it right now and today in a way you've never heard us say it before, if you can get it that your work is to extend the flowing of the energy, period. If you can get it that your work is to extend the positive flow of the energy, you can just keep your energy, your thoughts, meaning your focused thoughts, clearer, purer, less contradicted, which means feeling better, feeling better, feeling better, feeling better. The manifestation will just be the next logical step. It just happens that way. And it's so much more good feeling and so much more productive if you take the pleasure from the energy flow. Now, hear this. Can you take the pleasure from the energy flow? Or do you need to take the pleasure from the manifestation? And if you don't first take the pleasure from the energy flow, will there be as much satisfaction in the manifestation? So we're not going to say you can't make things happen. You can. You could move into action today, or you could take the pleasure from the energy flow, and then take the pleasure from the energy flow, and then take the pleasure from the next idea that comes and the next idea that comes, and you could increase your awareness of your worthiness in a way that you have not ever allowed before. And you know why you want to jump into action rather than flow the energy? Because you're looking for the marks on the chart. You're looking for the credit and the approval through the action. So you feel like you have to pay the price. You have to do what hurts. You have to make it happen. And we want you to understand that most of your trying to make it happen keeps you from allowing what you really want to happen. And it's because the things you can see and hear and smell and taste and touch, they're just bigger and bolder. And this is the most important thing about it. You want the manifestation. Oh, let's say that again. You want the manifestation. You were born into a body which is a manifestation. You're just not floating around on clouds. You were born into a manifested body. Not only a body that can be seen and heard and smelled and tasted and touched, but that can see and hear and smell and taste and touch. You couldn't be more manifested. You couldn't be more bloomed and blossomed and full. You see, you are a physical being in a physical environment. And it is right that you want to create physical things in physical environments. We're just telling you how to do it. We're just explaining to you how to bring about the things that you want without the struggle. And it's odd, but the way you have to become more physically focused is to understand that the biggest part of you is non-physical energy. In other words, it's a little bit funny, isn't it, that we're saying, oh, physical humans, be more vibrational and your physicality will be more satisfying. And you say, we don't get this vibrational stuff. We want to move stuff around. We want to do things. We want to say things. We want to touch things. We want to make things happen with our hands. And we say, and you are doing that. But if you want the satisfaction factor, flow the energy first and do only inspired action. You want to say, well, I would like to only do inspired action, but I've got to go to work because if I don't, I won't get the money. I've got to go to work and I've got to feed my kids and I've got to go do this and I've got to go do that. And we say, yes, we acknowledge there are things that you are already locked into, that you've made agreements about, but you could shift the way you think about them. You could look for positive aspects in them. You could make a decision and line up with that decision. And that's all we're asking you to do. We're not asking you to stop action. We're asking you to like the action that you're taking. If you feel you don't have a choice about ceasing an action, then You must find a way of enjoying the action that you're taking. Take the resistance out of the equation and then watch how sweet the sweet spot gets. That is the work. The work is your mood. The work is your attitude. The work is the way your thoughts make you feel. The work is the way you respond to things. But you see, most people are reacting. And in this world, especially this world today, with so much going on, you've got your nose in so many different things. We think you should call it nose book. You've got your nose in so many things that most people are reacting, rather than flowing. You got to get out ahead of it. You just got to feel good. You just got to think the thoughts that are nice to yourself. Think the thoughts that are nice to others. Think the thoughts that your inner being is thinking, because your inner being's got it all lined up, ready for you to receive it, you see. Do you want to receive it, or do you want to do it the hard way? Do you want to say, shouldn't I struggle harder? Shouldn't I pay more of a price? Won't others be jealous if I'm just happy and get it and happy and get it and happy and get it? And we say, you didn't come to pay a price. You came to flow energy. And when you flow energy in two opposing directions, you pay a price, an unnecessary price that you don't have to pay, because you're doing every bit of it to yourself with your contradictory thoughts. And you didn't mean to do it. It's just a habit to tell it like it is. Oh, but you know, if you're telling it like it is, what is can't change. It's like you're saying to the universe, I really want this, but this is how it is. But I'd like it to be different, but it's like this now. But I would like more money, but I don't have enough of it. And it'd be nice if we all had more money, but there's not enough money to go around. And I really don't like how it's going, and things should be better, and somebody should call somebody, and something needs to be done about it. And I'm getting really tired, and I don't like this struggle, and I guess I should try harder, and I guess I maybe better go to bed. But when you're thinking about what you want and the ideas are expanding within you, that's what that being tuned in, tapped in, turned on feels like. That's what inspiration is. That's what eagerness is. That's what happiness is. You know, when you plan something, when you think about something, when you plan your vacations, do you say, oh, we're going to go on vacation and we're going to hate it. And we're going to go to places that we've never been before, and we're going to be lost most of the time. We're going to spend money that we don't have. Or do you, at least when you think about vacations, do you try to focus upon things that will please you, you see? Clean up the energy. You can do it. Clean up your energy. Clean up your mouth. You can do it. You can say things that sound good. And if you begin saying things that sound good, after a little while, they'll start sounding normal. Say things that feel good to you when you say them. Think thoughts that feel good to you. So I don't know exactly where I'm going to be, but it's going to be really good, and I'm going to love every bit of it, and I'm going to love figuring it out. This is going to be really fun for the universe to show me what's in my vortex and what I really want. And I'll be able to feel it. I can do a gut check on it. I can tell. You see? We want to find a way to say to you that it's the creating that you came for, not the creation. But the creation must be part of the process for there to be any creating that goes. So it's just another way of saying that the joy is in the journey. It's not only in the manifestation. And so what we really want to say to you is that the more satisfaction that you're finding even before the manifestation, then the more you're milking this creation for more joy, and the more satisfaction you're going to feel when it manifests. We want to go back and revisit for a moment the analogy of Esther and her lions and horses, because so many of our physical friends really believe that it's the accomplishing of the manifestation that is necessary for feeling good. So when they hear a story like this about Esther, who can just pick out something that she wants and write a check for it, they have a hard time understanding why we think that this is an interesting story. Because they're still thinking, hey, if I could just write a check for something, then everything would be better for me, because in the having of it, in the absence of it, if I could just have what I think that I'm wanting, then I would feel better. And we want you to come with us on this journey of deliberate creation to understand that there are so many actions that you want to take. Making a phone call instead of chilling out. It's like writing the check. It's like trying to make the action do the work that can't be done before the energy has flowed. So it's a good process if you can find something that is pleasing to you to think about. Because when you focus upon it, because the work is already done in the vortex, and now you're doing the work of finding something pleasant to think about, so you're closing the gap. In that closed gap, in that open valve, in that open circuit, where you'll start translating those vibrations into ideas, you're going to feel wonderful as those ideas flow. Don't you know that? Haven't you ever been involved with a project where it just clicked, clicked? Ideas came to you. You had fun along the way. You were collaborating with others. They were in the flow too. It all felt good. There just didn't seem to be any bumps in the road because you were moving so fast. The bumps didn't matter anyway. That's what deliberate creation feels like. It undoubtedly seems like it would be nice for all of you if you could just take enough time off from all of the responsible things that you feel like you have to do until you could get in sync with the rhythmic flow of the energy so that you could just follow through with inspired things. And we also know that it doesn't feel to you that you need to do that because your children might starve before you come into alignment or. And so we know that you are in an interesting position because you really have to carry on while you are, maybe, if you want to, modifying your perspective to be more thought rather than action, more emotion rather than action, and more inspired action rather than contrived or controlled action. Now, we want to explain exactly how this works. This vortex that we're talking about, you have been building it incrementally. And whether you recognize it or not, we want you to know it's perfect for you. So this vortex has already, between what you've sifted and sorted and what law of attraction has done with your vortex and the vibrational version of it, the majority of the work is done. More than 99% of the creation is done. It isn't about effort factor, it's about alignment factor. So if you can accept that it is already accomplished and that now you have the simple experience of just getting into a chilled place where the natural unfolding is for what you want to begin occurring to you, to begin appearing to you. It's like this, as it's gathering momentum and really gestating in the state of becoming. And you are feeling good mostly just because you want to and because you figure out what kind of thoughts help you feel good and what kind of thoughts don't, and you avoid those that don't and you focus on those that do. So you're feeling good often, which means you're closer and closer and more often in that receptive mode. And because you are, then an idea occurs to you. Oh, and often you say it's an idea of desire. Well, that desire didn't just start when you got the idea. It's been well underway. The fact that you got it means that it's really ready to come to fruition and you're ready to translate it into fruition. So when the idea occurs and you feel that exhilaration, what that means is you let that mature idea flow into your mind, and now manifestation is right around the corner. Really good.